Growing up in Coventry was fine up until I was 9 years old. We went to a good school, we had a good family network, everything was great. But when I was 9 years old, my next door neighbour, turned out to be a paranoid schizophrenic, ended up killing his entire family with a claw hammer. And at 9 years old, that life hits hard. Life hits really hard at that point. You're a very impressionable age, and your mind's just blown when there's police cars outside, sirens are going. You walk out the next day, there's forensics in white lab suits sweeping the streets. It blows your mind, and it definitely hit me hard. Without a doubt, it hit me hard. And over time, the only way I really dealt with it was through eating. It was the only way to get my mind off it. We never moved house. So when I came back from school, I'd see that house, and I'd just go in, and I'd head right for the fridge. I'd just eat something just to take my mind off what was going on in my head. And when you have that mindset of just constantly eating to take your mind off someone else, you grow, you become obese. And I was an obese child, and I just kept getting bigger and bigger. The more I let the problem dwell on me, the worse the problem got. I just got heavier and heavier, and obviously that's going to lead to me becoming a different kind of person from everyone else. When you're carrying 4 or 5 stone in school, heavier than everyone else, as you're growing up, they're going to notice that difference. And obviously I was bullied for that. I was bullied for my weight. I was bullied for the size of my chest. I was bullied, and life hit me hard like that. It was painful. It was painful growing up knowing I was different from everyone else because I was overweight. It wasn't easy. Growing up's a real important time in your life. You're supposed to grow, and believe me, I grew. But I didn't grow as a man. I grew as an obese child, and I grew and I grew and I grew, but I didn't develop. So there came a point when I was like 14, 15 years old. I was probably about 5-6 stone heavier than everyone else in my year. No matter how tall they were, I was still only 5'4", or probably even shorter than that, but still carrying so much more weight than everyone else. And I was at a massive low point in my life. I was suicidal. I didn't want to be around. I had no feeling of self-worth whatsoever. And this guy, kids can be cruel. They don't know the consequences of what they do, and they can be real cruel. And this guy was hanging around posters, putting up posters of me saying, with my face on them, saying loads of different profanities and just being generally mean, and I lost it. So I went up to this guy, and I just hit him as hard as I could, and I knocked him down, and I just kept beating on him while he was on the floor, because I had nothing to lose, because I felt nothing of myself. And obviously when you're at that point and you're beating someone on the ground, his friends are going to help him out. So there I was, up against a tennis court fence, getting beat up by 3 people. And I was just getting slammed. I just tried covering up, like boxing, like up against the ropes. And I was just getting beat, knees, punches, elbows, kicks, the lot. I was just getting beat the hell out of. But I knew from that point on, whatever life threw at me, no matter how hard life would hit me in the face, I could take it. From that moment on, I would not give up. I would not give in. I would not let life drop me to my knees. It was at this point, through counselling, through anger management and stuff, they discovered that I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. So from what had happened with the murder next door to my house, I'd basically just been covering that all up, and it was killing me. It was killing me day in, day out, still living where I was, still being involved in that environment. And it was hellish, it was horrible, it was tough. But I began to learn about my issues, and how to not avoid food, but how to not channel all my energy into eating and to avoiding issues. And then I realised that my problem in life, and the reason why I was being bullied, was because of my differences, because I was overweight. And to be honest, my view on it is the best way you can avoid being bullied for being overweight is to fight back in your life and lose the weight, because that's what's making you different. And it's a dark, dark place when you're 23.5 stone and you're still a teenager. It is a dark, dark place, but I'm telling you right now that you can get out of it. I was out of breath tying my shoes. I was out of breath just walking up my own stairs in my house. It was not a good place. It was not a place I wanted to be. and I worked damn hard to get out of it. I knew that the most important thing for me would be to educate myself. So in school, my favourite subject was PE. I absolutely loved it. I was pretty good at it. And then we went on to study theory, and I absolutely loved every bit about that. Learning more about the body, the food, the exercise. I needed to educate myself and learn more to be able to treat myself in life. So I went on and moved on to do a BTEC in Sports Performance and Excellence at Henley College. And I really developed then and learnt more about training methods and how to get fit and how to fight the disease I was suffering from, which was childhood obesity. So every opportunity that I got, I took it. I became that font of knowledge for my school friends, because I wanted to know it all, because the more I learned, the more I could help myself. And this education became like my drive, my passion. So I took it further. I went and studied a degree in sports science and rugby, and I graduated from that, and I took so much from that because it was high level knowledge. It was high spec stuff and very detailed stuff of how I could impact my life to keep treating my condition, because I was still losing weight, I was still big, and I was just still driving towards what I am today and where I'm going. And then I learned, when people saw me losing the weight, they were like, whoa, how are you doing that? What's your secret and stuff like this? So I learned that the knowledge that I'd learned wasn't just for me, it wasn't just a personal thing. I could use that to help others. So I started training people, and the more I trained people, the more I learned about other people's issues and how they dealt with things and what worked best for them. So the more I trained people, the more I learned, and the more I learned as a person to become a better person. And now everything I want to do is geared towards helping people. And so far at this point right now, as I'm speaking to you, I've lost 10.5 stone over the past 3 to 4 years. And I just wanted to prove it was possible. Everyone who said, no, there's no way you can do that, it's not possible, I've changed my life. I'm a completely different person, and it is possible because I wanted it enough, because I wanted the drive, the passion, I had it all. I just put it into place. And this is all you've got to do to get out of obesity. An obese child does not have to become an obese man. It is not a complete cycle. You can break it and you can get out of it. You've just got to want it bad enough. You need to ask yourself, am I happy with who I am right now? And if not, make some change.